Not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price.
Welcome back to part 2.
Ching, ain't about no, but bling, wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tag.
Real talk. I'm just sitting here, have some time to spare, and we're talking. I had to take a pay cut, right? My husband, on the other hand, he got a pay increase, luckily for us. Overall, as a unit, we are now making more than we were making together in Jamaica. So maybe you would use that to say, hey, based off of that, yes, it's worth it. I made the move. I'm making more money. But there's a but. In Jamaica, for me, I did not have rent. In Jamaica, I wasn't paying mortgage either. We had built our own place on his family lot. So we had our own place, right? You see, where you're living, your house that you're living in is not an investment. The plan was to get other properties in Jamaica and create rental properties. I was willing to make that sacrifice. So I was willing to make certain sacrifice, not to drive certain type of cars. You know, I downgrade. After doing certain things and reading all these books, I realized in life it's not about decreasing your expenses to get to being wealthy. It's about increasing your income. So I started working on ways I could increase my income. I did find a way, right? But I realized it was so much harder than it seemed. And it was then in my situation I realized, you know what, in life, not everyone is going to be a business owner. Not everyone is going to have a business and be able to make the income that way. Some of us, we ain't no business owners, we ain't no entrepreneurs. An entrepreneurial lifestyle is hard. It is hard, but it's rewarding. So I figured out, okay, I need to increase my income. And one of the ways to increase your income was in these first world countries. In these first world countries, you can work till you drop. That's one way to increase your income. But that's not the best way, but it's one way. I did not have that option in Jamaica. Jamaica, you know, it's a one job, it's a 9-to-5 job, that's it, right? The business I was trying to do at the time, it turns out that if I was in the US or Canada or the UK, it would be doing better. So that was also an influence for me with my business, right? Because it's always good when you have a business, like you have something that will bring in that money, especially passively. Coming here and then being able now to know that after I finish school, I'll be able to work more. In your 20s, you work, you have health, you have strength, work while you can. And I want to move it on to not only say in your 20s, but also in your 30s. Work, you're still young, you still have that strength. The Bible says, young man, I call upon you because you are strong. Work, right? Me personally, I'm not making anybody make me feel bad for what I have because I gotta work for mine. Or I gotta work 2 jobs for mine. I don't care. It's like sometimes people in Jamaica be like, oh, you want to go foreign? Or, oh, you're going foreign? Foreign people ever see how hard them have to work? Like 2 jobs them have to work with pay bills and... After being here, I made some deductions myself. No. Let's be clear. Let's put that rumor or that mindset that you have in your mind that people in Canada or people in America or people in UK has to work 2 jobs to survive. No. They don't. The only people who have to work 2 jobs to survive are people who, like myself, currently on a minimum wage job. But due to my student permit, I can only work 20 hours. It's people who are doing minimum wage jobs. They are the ones who have to work 2 jobs. And those 2 jobs they are working, it's not necessarily working to survive. It's not working just to survive. It's working because they want to live above the average. Simply put, they don't want to work that one job and just relax, cozy dandy. You know what I mean? When you have options or opportunities out there to work and to make more money, trust me, a lot of persons back in their own country, if they had the opportunities that people here have, they would be working too. So get that out of your head. Get it out of your head. Change that mindset. If you are educated and you have a good career, or you have a career, a matter of fact, I realize in these first world countries, your bachelor's degree alone is good. It is golden. And a matter of fact, not even your bachelor's, a certificate is good. It is golden. A 6-month certificate can take you places that your bachelor's, you'll be sitting back home in Jamaica or Bahamas, or wherever you're sitting one day and worrying if you should make the move from, can take you than that 9 to 5 that you're doing there because, oh, my job title is, I'm using me as an example here, please, people. My job title is I'm an electrical engineer and I work at an engineering company and I wear nice heels and I go to work and I have flexible hours. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble or step on anyone's corn, but the truth is, the opportunities you have in this country far outweighs the opportunities you have in a third world country. And that is why people come here. And that is why people work 2 jobs, not to survive. Don't get it wrong. It's not to survive. It's so that, hey, I want to fly out to Cancun, I can. For persons who are on minimum wage job, for example, or I want to get this house, or, you know, overall, it is for them to have better things, not only for themselves, but for their children. I hear people say the American dream, or what we say now, the Canadian dream. At the end of the day, whatever it turns out to be at the end is what you want it to be. I'm not telling you coming here and working 2 jobs is easy, and I'm not encouraging anybody to come here and work 2 jobs because you don't have to. But if you want to, you can. So the time you sit there worrying, is it worth it? Ask yourself, maybe it's not worth it for you. Maybe it's worth it for your kids that's coming. I want first world or first class type of education, that when you're a citizen here, you'll be able to get them, because education is free in Canada. Education is free right up until the university level. So all those years, unless you want to send them to private school now, which is another thing. If you want to be here and you want to, hey, that's another thing, that's another money up. But if you're okay sending them to the public school and doing the necessary or extra work that you need to do till they get to college, and you work on that college fund, you're good to go. So is it worth it? It is. For me, it is worth it. For me, despite sometimes I want to do, like, I won't lie, sometimes I told already I like shopping. Sometimes I want to shop a little and I have to cut my eye past it, because right now I am not there yet. You have to know what you are willing to sacrifice. For me, it is different, and I just use that personal situation just so, my situation, just so I can answer that question. I can make it clear to you. It's up to you. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? Where do you want to be in 5 years from now? It's up to you. And I won't lie, here there are a lot more distractions than back home. There are. Let me give you a real quick example, something I am struggling with now personally. Real quick example, I want to so badly get a car because one, I am like, getting a car will take me less time, so I have more time for myself. But getting a car comes with other expenses that I am not willing, or I feel like right now I'm ready to take on. But sometimes sacrifices are worth making and having, right? Because I live in British Columbia, which the major city is Vancouver. Parking in cities are very expensive, so it makes no sense. So I just need to figure out, is it the car I'm willing to take up those expenses, or I'm willing to pay a higher rent, right? Just to walk around in the city and take the bus, which is like probably 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's I give or take because this is new to me. In Jamaica, you drive everywhere you want to go. You don't have to worry about parking, you don't have to worry about things like that. You have to make sacrifices, that's just the reality of it. You have to make sacrifices, and that's okay. So it's up to you. What are you willing to sacrifice? Don't sit and wait and someone else make that decision for you to decide whether you need to make the decision for yourself to move or not. Your situation, what you can cope, what you can handle is different from someone else's. My background, my situation was a bit different. I was blessed to be in a good situation because my husband also was an engineer and he was at this company and he was getting paid good too. Why I left, however, is because I always want to be the best I can be. I want growth. I want to not just exist, I want to strive. You know, I just want to achieve so much. All that I can in this lifetime, basically. All that I dream of, I want to be able to achieve it. That's it. I want to be Dr. Kayon Beckford Seaborn. Right? I still do. But it was while sitting in Jamaica, I was like, okay, I'm going back to school to do my MBA, or I'm going back to school to do my master's in something else. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend all this money do my master's, but where am I going next within this company? And there wasn't much pathway. Here, I would be dependent on my managers to, you know, work the best way they can to create success for progression. And their hands are tied. It's the company, at the end of the day, based on the company's vision and their mission and where they are going, that will decide where you as an employee actually goes. It's not your managers and it's not your bosses. Yes, you might have great relationship with your managers and your bosses, and hey, there might be ways that they can help you to get to your next area of your life, but it will be limited if the company goals are not in line with your vision. What is your situation? What is your why? My why certainly is going to be different from you. I know what I want out of this life. I know where my goals, my visions are. I know what I want for me and my family. I know my why, right? I'm willing to move backwards to go forward. You know what I mean? In my situation, I analyzed my situation and I was willing to take a pay cut, right? For a pay increase further on. Why? Because in my situation, I have a plan. I know my why. I know how I can survive. That's me. For you, please know your why. Know your situation. That's the first thing. Know your situation. Your situation is unique to you. You have to know your situation, know your pocket, and know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. That's the background. That's the why. Find your why. The next thing is now the evidence too. Is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it for me. It it is still working out for me, because I knew my why, I knew what I was coming into, and I was ready to work my butt off for where I plan to be in the future. That's me personally, right? So for you cannot use my situation to judge, to say, okay, I am going to come to Canada because, hey, Kayon came to Canada and I think we were in the same pay bracket or the same situation, so I can come, or I have a husband or I have a partner who is willing to work and support me, so I can come. You see, the problem is a lot of us as humans, we want something in life, but we are not willing to put the work in to get to where we want to get to. We rather sit, wait. I'm telling you, this is us as humans. We rather sit, wait on someone else to try and see if A, they are going to fail or if they are going to succeed before we make that move. You're so afraid of failing that you're not willing to see what lies on the other side of success. You know your situation and you know why you want to come, but you're afraid of failing. Failure is your biggest thing. And then they say, yes, it's working for me. My situation is different. But when you're using someone else's situation to determine if you can make it in Canada or UK or America, use the evidence or the aspects or the areas in your life that you know will or will not work for you. Take it with a grain of salt, because what can do, Marcia probably not gonna do it. What I am willing to do, you are probably not willing to do it. I was willing to take a pay cut. I was willing to change my life. I was willing to make that sacrifice. Everybody's risk tolerance is different. What is your risk tolerance? Right? It's not no if not, but if it's worth it. Anything worth having in life is going to take some amount of struggle. Anything worth having. I'm telling you, let me get more personal to get the message I'm sending across. Maybe you see me doing vlogs and you're like, okay, the apartment where I'm staying in looks nice or it looks good enough. Okay, she's not struggling, or okay, she's doing quite fine. Do not use things like that to say whether a person is struggling or not. Because for me personally, I'm different. One of the major things that I'm struggling with here right now currently is what I would normally do. You know, therapeutic thing for me is I like shopping. I like buying myself nice things. I do. And I also love investing. But sometimes, some months, I just honestly can't. But for my mental well-being, I choose to probably, instead of maybe putting that money aside for investment, I choose to probably buy something online, shop online, you know, things like that. Things to make my space feel a bit more like home, or probably buy clothes so that maybe when I'm going out and I do my makeup and I do my hair, I feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And I believe in that. So sometimes I do that. But those are areas where I am struggling with. But you would not see that unless I come on here and tell you. So again, be careful how you use people's lifestyle to say whether or not it's working for them, or you know, yes it is working for them, but would it be working for you? What if you're someone who strives off of maybe making an impact in the working environment, and you realize that hey, you have to be working a 20-hour job, which is like sometimes some of these jobs you're not doing anything that's so meaningful in your mind or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Then that will make you depressed as hell. And then you maybe just be like, you can't do this. You know what I mean? So you have to think about it. You have to examine what you want. What are you willing? Know your why. Know your boundaries. Know what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. Right? It's just 2 years, I would say. Just 2 years. It won't be forever. It will not be forever. When I turn on my pipe, there's water. Yeah. Having water in my pipe is a blessing for me. I love that, and I love bathing with warm water. And that for me is nice. Right? That for me is luxury. Is it worth it? Also, when I go on the road and I'm coming back home, yes, I pray all the time. But I feel much safer because I just feel like the likelihood of something happening with some stray bullet is a bit lower here than Jamaica. That's just the truth. Not that it's impossible. Let's be real here, right? But it is less. And to me, sometimes I count my blessings, and I'm glad I did not choose America for this journey and came to Canada, right? Because look at all the mass shootings going on in America. In Canada, that doesn't happen really, and I can't recall hearing it since I've been here. Maybe it happened in the past, but since I've been here, no. So that's something else I'm thankful for, right? I feel safe. Plus, there are so many other benefits here. When I think about my options after I finish this MBA, where I can go, what I can do, those dreams, those realities that I know I'll have an opportunity or a chance to get into certain doors because of where I am, those things make it worth it for me. For me, not about you, right? What? Know your why again. What are the things that will make work for you? There are so many pathways. The prices for schools in Canada are expensive. They are. When you compare maybe a program that you're going to do in Canada to maybe a master's in the United States of America or in UK, those places tend to be cheaper. I was willing to come here to pay for a postgraduate certificate rather than go to the United States to get a master's, because for permanent residents you stand a better chance here than America. The conclusion is, and you must get it by now, it is worth it for me. Will it be worth it for you? It's up to you. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to cope with? For me, I had to give up. Like I said, I had to take a pay cut first time. And I love me my money. I love me my money. In a way, I can't complain, because even though it's only 20 hours, the money that I get now is at least more than half what my salary used to be. So it's still better than nothing. So you have to give thanks, right? All the best. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Before I go, if you haven't subscribed, please just hit that subscribe button. Bye.